I'm live. Hi, it's Katrina Kavanagh here. Monday night, 8 p.m., although it's 8:08. It is welcome to Perfectly Imperfect Parenting Q&A Live as part of our Kindness on Purpose movement. We offer this every Monday night during school term time here in New South Wales, Australia. Hello, Renee. How you going? I'm just going to chitty chat away and just allow some people to get on board. Hello, Samantha Zanes. Thank you so much for joining me. I cannot wait to talk to you all tonight. Cannot wait because tonight we're going, hello, beautiful girl, beautiful woman. Girl, where'd that come from? Sorry, Samantha. And I'm really looking forward to talking to you and sharing with you my experiences where I was doing the imperfect bit of parenting over the weekend. Hello, R&R Education Emporium. Hi there. How are you going tonight? Oh, well, I'm a bit cold. I can't get the heating right in my home. I've got a bit of hair sticking up. A few flyaways there, as I say on telly. I am good. I'm good overall, though, and certainly much better now. I can't do mirror image, so it's there. There. Okay, got it. It's there. Okay. So I am going well. The heater I've just shut up some windows because I need some fresh air, even though it's a freezing winter's cold night. But tonight we're going to be talking about hello, Lisa Marie, you lovely principal, you. Deputy, assistant, no, deputy. So tonight we're going to be talking about, I'm going to be sharing with you my experiences as a mum on the weekend. Hello, can't wait to see you on Wednesday. I'm going to be sharing with you my experience on the weekend because I want to share with you how my weekend was. It's pretty funny. It wasn't funny at the time. Funny story in there. And also what that's meant for me and how much it's reminded me about how important it is for us as parents and carers to be super duper kind to ourselves. And it's something that we don't do. We don't do enough of that. We do a lot of criticizing and things like that. So I thought, you know what? This weekend has made me really, really focus on the need to be kind to myself, forgive myself, and just nurture myself a little, because it's been a big one. So it's not big as in, it's nothing, no one's dying of serious illness, so everyone's healthy. There's been no major crises as far as life events goes. I've got girls floating around me who are meant to be doing something else. Grab a towel, take it with you. See, mothering as we go. This is what it's like. I'm fixing my cup of tea, which I crazily brought to the table. So let's start by, I should get straight into it. I should get into what happened on the weekend. So, big weekend full of heightened emotion. I have Phoebe, my eldest, who is a featured vocalist, so like a big time singer, but junior version, but she's a featured artist in Southern Stars, which is a big, it's performed at Wynn Entertainment Centre. So there's, 3,000 people in the audience, and she's one of the ones singing. She's got 6 numbers that she's in, or 5 numbers that she's in, or 4. I should know by the number of costumes, but I can't remember now. And one of which is a solo / duet, right? Something I'll be proud of her for breathing. And I've certainly said to her plenty of times, anytime you, which she's not practicing, anytime you don't want to do this, I'm okay with that. Just let me know so I know which track we're on. But she's decided she wants to do this, so of course I'm proud of that. So I'm happy with her anyway. But as I used to say to her when she was little, you've got a beautiful mind and a beautiful heart and a beautiful soul, and you're beautiful on the outside, and that's complimentary. And so she just, both my girls are the same. But it's show week, right? So this weekend, last weekend of rehearsal, this whole week is show week, rehearsal, and then show starts Friday. So Friday, Saturday. So big deal. Lots of running her around, place to place. for, not place to place, backwards and forwards for rehearsal. At the same time, it was my beautiful Kate, my 10-year-old's book week. And she doesn't normally get too excited about these things, but for some reason this year, she's really excited. Maybe because we're in the world of getting costumes and stuff with Phoebe, so she's feeling the energy of that, so she's wanting some sense of currency. But also I think she's just come of age as well. Anyway, so she got excited, and so we did, she decided she wanted to go as Harley Quinn, a comic. She's not a big fan of reading, but I was happy with that. But she decided the version that was more on the movie than in the comic. Anyway, so there was a costume to be made, and if you have any of you have a look at my feed, you will see the final product. Okay, so there I am. We're busy running around grabbing stuff all in between audition rehearsal on Saturday, and then on Sunday, hours spent colouring, and painting one part of anyone who does costumes knows this stuff. Painting one part of the fabric, letting it dry, painting another, letting it dry, taping up bits so it's all perfect, blah, 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 blah. And me sourcing, and I've never done iron transfers before, me sourcing all this stuff, feeling like who's in here? Samantha Zane, it is awesome costume. Thank you. So I had to wait to hear what happened. Anyway, so hello, Lloyd Coosa. Hello. Another wonderful deputy of and a parent at one of my lovely Kindness on Purpose schools, part of the movement. Thank you for joining us. Anyway, so there we are. We are Tracy Ashton. Come in to Perfectly Imperfect Parenting. Welcome. Love to have you. All these lovely people. So anyway, this is the story. So you've all seen the final photo, hopefully. If you haven't, have a little scroll through and you'll see the extravaganza that is Kate's costume. But so we're there at the final stage. I'm going to show you a, what do you call it? Evidence A. And we're at the final stage. It's Sunday night, last night, 4 p.m. Most of the shops are shut. And the final stage is me doing the transfer. So I'm ready. I'm trying on the transfer, thinking, I've done it. Against all the odds of every other commitment I've got, blah, blah, blah. Finally getting the transfer, lifting off the transfer, only to see I'd done this. Can you see? Can anyone see? Can you see what I've done? Yes, people, it is upside down. The transfer. So, what do? I felt very bad. Felt very sad, felt very heavy, to use Kindness on Purpose language. And what happened next was I said to Kate, it's okay, we'll just go down the street and get another one. So we zoomed down to Big W, we zoomed down to Kmart. It's spring. There are no white long sleeve shirts available in all of shopping land at all on 4 o'clock on a Sunday. And so I madly rang around. I don't have lots of, I know lots of people, but I don't have lots of people that I, can ring and say help too. Well, probably that's not true. You probably will contact me now and say, yes, you could have rung me. But anyway, I don't like to bother people. So I had a few limited people that I rang up and said, does your child please have in their cupboard a white long sleeve shirt that I can borrow? You'll never get it back, so I'm going to paint it. And by the grace of all that is, we found one. So we got it home. I said to Kate, look, if I need to be up all night, you know me, it's mummy. I've done all-nighters before. I'll absolutely do it. And we didn't need to. Her and I worked very well together, and we got the shirt done, and then you can see the end result. Now, as I tell the story, it doesn't feel like a big drama, but to be honest, it was a big deal. Maybe because I was tired or something. Anyway, so it was a parenting fail on that level. On the weekend, I had a moment where I was a bit cranky as a parent and quite angry and irrationally so. It wasn't really, my response was here and the actual situation was here. So, having one of those moments as well. And I'm sharing with you publicly because I think as parents, we can be really tough on ourselves, and we certainly don't feel comfortable talking about those moments of vulnerability when we've not necessarily been our best self, both as a you know, as I said, we have an ideal of how we wish to be, and then we have the reality of how we wish to be as a parent, and someday those two things are closer than others. And I certainly had a weekend where, I don't know where mine was, but it was way back here. And so, you know, I had an angry moment, and that was not good. You know, the girls were upset, so I was upset. And then also I had this ridiculous, and we're running around like a crazy person all weekend, and then we had the upside down transfer at the 11th hour. So, hilarious story in that way, but also an interesting story from the moment when I'm sharing with you that I was quite sad and quite angry. And of course the girls are very au fait with mums having big feelings. We just need to look after the feelings. And I was able to get to that in the end. You know, I was angrier than I wanted to be. I was cranky. I raised my voice when I went a bit louder than even I thought would be. So, and that happens sometimes. Like that is life. So I like to share that because I know there are people out there watching who are parents or carers, and we all have moments where, you know, after asking 5 times, you know, you ask the first time, you ask the second time, you ask the third time, probably hitting the 5th or 6th or 7th time, get a bit cranky. You know, I've seen a hilarious meme on Facebook that says it's not until I'm a raving, screaming banshee that my children listen to me. Now, I get that, okay, and but for me, because I have an ideal that's so strong about, welcome to the club, Mitchell James, hello, thank you very much. Book Week does that to us all. Hope you're feeling better today. Book Week goes great. Yeah. So I'm loving that these people are here. And so there I was, and but whether it's that or whether it's something else, I just think as parents and carers and teachers, I think we need to be kind to ourselves. You know, I remember when I had my first baby, a beautiful, wise woman in my life said to me, Katrina, one of the first things you're going to need to do is learn to forgive yourself quickly. It is the absolute art of parenting. Hello, Diane Joyce. Diane Joyce, everyone used to be our wonderful person that looked after the girls as a nanny. But then she started massaging footballers in like the proper ARL league football league people. And off she gone, doing these massaging things. Anyway, so welcome to Perfectly Imperfect Parenting, Diane Joyce, your lovely person. So anyway, so I think this woman said to me, you need to learn to forgive yourself quickly, and I think that's really, really important. So a few things so this all brought up an idea for me that I could share this with you and then go through some ideas and tips about what we could all do for each other, and all of us, you know, need to do for ourselves sometimes. So the first one is this. We need to learn to forgive ourselves quickly. When these things happen, we are human beings having a very human experience, and our emotions will run high. You know, when you're not feeling heard and you have to repeat yourself more than 5 times, your emotions are going to run high, okay? When you're having a moment where the transfer somehow found its way upside down, your emotions are running high. You know, we're feeling, in that way, it was sadness and despair, and oh my God, what have I done? You know, the first thing is to learn to forgive ourselves quickly. Now, that's easier said than done. What does that actually mean? It's a big, deep breath. It's bringing and inviting in perspective and also compassion for ourselves, because we are seriously human and we're going to have those moments. It's releasing ourselves from the stranglehold that is the ideal of how we wish to be as parents. And it's understanding that, you know, our emotions will go up and down and will be influenced by how tired we are, what pressures we have on, you know. So I think that's a really, really critical thing, is that's to forgive ourselves quickly, and then to do so by understanding and having perspective, and to realize that we are human. I think the other thing to do is, once you've actually moved through, so for me today's been all about getting through the parade. We did that, and I have had a very busy day. I've got a massive week coming up, which is fine. That's normal, part of Kindness on Purpose, Katrina Kavanagh, and being in business, like me, and being a mum, like we all are. But I will be absolutely setting some times aside. I'm going to be setting some times aside. I'm going to be setting some time aside, if not tomorrow, definitely the next day, but a little bit tonight, and then a little bit tomorrow. But then I'm coming up on Wednesday to beautiful Claregate Public School. When you walk in there, it's like getting a warm hug, so that'll be nice. And then I've got definitely some time on Thursday and Friday where I'm going to make sure that I carve out some big chunks of time where I just sit down and give myself a bit of a pat on the back. And I might even write myself a little letter, just reminding myself of the fact that I am a good mum, and that it's okay and understandable. So writing yourself a letter is really nice. Certainly talking to a friend. You'll always have people in your life that will tell you that you're a good mum, you're doing your best and all that kind of stuff. So I think those things are good. But it's about just reaching out and getting support from other people if that's what you need. But it's also the language that we use to talk to ourselves. So, for example, I will sit down during the week and I will look at this weekend that's gone by and I'll look at the way I spoke to myself, quite frankly. And whilst overall it was okay, there were a few moments there where I was pretty harsh on myself and cross with myself for letting myself and my girls down by not being the perfect mum. And, you know I should know better, but there are times still I caught myself thinking and saying some things to myself and not giving myself room to be human. I think when the pressure's high and we're running really fast, this way of talking to ourselves happens more often. I know that when I've just meditated and I step out of it and I can look reflectively and there's no pressure and I'm sitting in my pajamas on a Sunday morning with a cup of tea, obviously I can be very reflective then. I can be like, well, yes, I know that I'm human and I completely understand. But, I'm not like that all the time. I'm just like a crazy screaming banshee, crazy banshee sometimes, kind of rolling along in life and just leaping from thing to thing. Clearly not doing very well with my words. So I think, taking that moment, even when it's a few days later, to sit down and reflect, because the truth of it is the body keeps score. So if we come at it from a neuroscience point of view, you might think, oh, that's a few days ago and I've forgiven myself, that's fine. But what I think it's important to do a little check-in. And if you have not done this for a while, I want you to if you do nothing, do this. Find time in the next few days. So I'm talking about half an hour to an hour, where you can sit down, cup of tea in hand, okay, or cup of coffee, something warm in this warm winter weather, something warm in this cold winter weather. And I want you to do a review of something that happened in your parenting or caring role. And if you're listening and you don't have children, then something that happened in your life, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to review what happened, sure, but I want you to think about and really identify what were you saying to yourself or what were you feeling about yourself about your role as a mother, father, carer, teacher, okay? It's really important to do that. And then again, do that check-in, feel where you're feeling it in your body, and then obviously attend to your body using the usual strategies. But the most important thing is to just stop, take a moment and really look back and go, okay, I'm telling myself I've forgiven myself, but am I still carrying? And what were the things I said to myself? And just do a reality check. Because when we say things like, what am I doing as a mother? Or, why am what am I, critical things. What am I doing here, even being one? And who am I fooling? And, well, that was pretty horrible. And, you've stuffed up there, or whatever it is, you're stupid or you're silly or whatever the words were that you come up with for yourself. Or I should have known better. In this case, it was, I should have done it. I've learnt, everyone, to do a testing thing. Test it first. Otherwise you end up like this. So, I've learnt to test it. And I've learned some things, right? But to just really go back over and just check in with what I've said to myself, because those words have been stored and remember, and your body keeps score of that. You may need to check in and just go, just reality check and say, okay, am I hopeless? Am I really should I question my right to be a mother if it went that far? Should I really, what are the good things that I do for my children day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out? It's not about them noticing. It's about you noticing. It's not about anyone else noticing. It's not about partners noticing or children noticing. It's about you noticing, okay? So I think it's important to take that moment to take stock, and I hope that's really, really helpful with what I'm saying. Are there any questions here tonight? That was my little chitty-chatty blah, blah. And sharing. I guess the other thing I want you to know is that if you are terribly hard on yourself, I think what I'd love you to do is actually rewrite your script. And even if you wrote down the words that you would say to another mother in this situation or another parent in this situation, And I just want you to read over that, read over those scripts, because words are powerful, extremely powerful. And as we read them and write them and say them, they do have an impact on our brain and our body, and all the educators online here would agree with that. And so we know that they are. So therefore, I would like you to write, if you're very critical to yourself, write a script, go through the situation you just went through, and I want you to write out some words that you would say to another parent who'd just been through that. I want you to put that bedside, and I want you to read it as if you're saying it to yourself. Okay? Read it as if you're saying it to yourself, because it's important for you to start to rewrite your script, right, as a parent. And that's one very simple. There's lots more other ways to do it, but that's a very simple way to get started. Okay? Taking a sip of tea. So warm. That's so good. It's Earl Grey tea. My beautiful grandmother who passed away years ago, my mama, she was like my mother figure, one of my mother figures. And she used to always have Earl Grey, and she'd put her voice on. She'd say, "Oh, Katrina, could you get me a cup of Earl Grey tea?" And I'd say, "Yes, Mama, I'll get you a cup of Earl Grey tea." So I'm having some Earl Grey tea, and I always think of my mama when I do that. So I hope that that's been helpful. Any questions at this point, everyone? Lovely people? Not noticing any. I'll give you a chance. Next week, I am going to be talking about what do we do when we have to remind our children 9,000 times. Now, and you all know I'm not exaggerating using the words 9,000, right? We all know it's 9,000. It's not 2. It feels like 9,000 times to do their teeth, to say no to when they want something. Can I have this toy? Can I have this food? Whatever it might be. What do we do when we are having those moments where we have to say no, or to the repeated questions, or we have to say no 9,000 times? Because it's certainly a challenge I face. I can easily, that's one of the things. I am one of those mums like, I told you to brush your teeth, What did I say? So I want to share with you some ideas that I've come up with that we could be using. I mean, there's the stock standard things that are already out there, but I want to incorporate a couple of other steps in there so that you can be working with your brain and understanding the strength of co-regulation, which is child is as regulated as you are. Isn't that a lot of pressure? That's a lot of pressure as a parent and a teacher. So, the children will be as regulated as you are. Even when they're distressed, if you remain regulated, which is the grand fantasy, right, of perfect parenting. But if we can, then, we do better, okay? So I wanted to give you a few ideas about how to be thinking and feeling and believing about that, what's really going on. So we should reframe our thinking about it. Then also some steps to address how to look after our own brains and body in the moment, right, and in peacetime leading up to it. And then also how to decompress after an incident, which is what I'm talking about now. So I hope that will be helpful. That's next week. Oh, someone's saying something. Ideas, yes, please. Hello, Nicole Ackhurst. Absolutely. So that'll be next week. Spread the word, people. That next week is all about how we manage the need to repeat yourself to delightful children, and then the need to say no when they constantly ask for the same thing over and 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 over. Sorry, you know what I mean. Again, that is the end. Now, joining our Perfectly Parenting Facebook online community, please hit the button that's at the top of the Facebook page. As promised, I'm just getting my beautiful friend and an original PA, Cassandra Collins, back on deck to get going with our Perfectly Imperfect Parenting, a monthly newsletter. I'm not going to bombard you and send that out to you, so you'll be getting some resources there. And we've also I've got something brewing, which is kind of exciting. So I've got something brewing for that, for our parents and carers. So I want to make sure that you get to know about that first. Yeah, because that's kind of exciting. If you have a question that you would like me to answer, feel free to always send through a message or put a little post on the Kindness on Purpose page. Exactly, Samantha. Exactly. Samantha Zane says she's just yelled to get out of the shower again. Hope you didn't hear me. Well, you know what? I probably wouldn't over me yelling if I wasn't on here. I think, yeah, probably all the way from, yeah, I thought I heard something actually. I thought I did hear something, Samantha Zanes. Was that you? Oh, yeah. So was that the fourth time, fifth time, sixth time? I'm going for I want us all to observe between now and next week. I want to know how many we're going for a record, and we want to report the number of times we have to tell our children to do something. I'm going to share it here. So can you please spread the word? Everyone start observing, and I want you counting how often you have to remind your children to do whatever it is you need them to do, and we're going to report back here, okay, and share it with me, and just share with each other so we can all understand that we're all normal, and this is happening in every single household. Amazing person I heard one day speaking, he's a child and behaviour specialist, or child and family specialist, and he said, you know that when you go for a walk in the morning between 7 and 8, when you go for a morning walk and you're walking in suburbs, you know the houses that have children in them, because you can hear the parents saying, if I have to tell you again, that's how you know that they've got kids in the house. So we should all be kind to ourselves and not whip ourselves with these things, okay? So I will let you go. I'm rambling. Make sure you spread the word. Next week it's all about repeating ourselves and reminding ourselves and all that stuff, and how we can actually deal with that. I need to refine my skills. I know it intellectually, but I need to put a few things into practice here a little bit myself. So I'm going to be doing that over the week. We might set ourselves some little assignments as well, and we can report back. But this week, just start to observe between now and then how often you have to remind your children, because we're trying to get a perfectly imperfect parenting average on how often that happens. Thank you very much for your time. Lots of exciting things happening behind the scenes here. Really look out on the Kindness on Purpose social media pages, because this week we're going to be sharing a very special share, and that is all the amazing work that's going on at Oran Park Public School, which is just one of our amazing Kindness on Purpose schools. And so this week it's Oran Park Public School that you'll receive a lot of information. If you haven't already watched the video that's on the page, please do. It's an absolutely gorgeous video featuring Oran Park Public School. Stay watching to the end because you get the children talking about what it's meant for them attending a Kindness on Purpose school. And to be honest, it's one that makes me cry. All these videos make me cry because it's beautiful. It's beautiful to think you've created something and have it mean humbling, really. Okay, I better go. Thank you so much for being here. I think you're great, and I cannot wait to be back here next Monday night. This is one of the highlights of my week. Take care. Bye-bye. And may we be kind to ourselves. May we be kind to ourselves. Bye-bye.